Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and he's big, he's clumsy, and he's made of bricks. It's
Howard Long.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting this show. And thanks to you for listening to this show. So, episode 8 of The Last Olympian, we're still on that train. We are still third episode on that fucking train.
Yeah, no sign of a balaclava man yet either. What's going on?
Not a single, no hairdressing carriage.
No.
All that we've got on this train is the body mutilation carriage. That's the only thing.
The best of carriage.
Dr. White cutting people's bits off carriage. So Samael, because he's got to take over someone's identity in order to work for freedom, has had his fingertips replaced with a dead man's fingertips, and now he's in the process of having his eye replaced. But Sykes almost escaped. The guy who they're cutting up basically almost escaped, ran off, but then fell off the back of the train. But fortunately, Samael managed to catch his eye as he fell.
Yes.
And now we're back in the carriage with Samael, Dr. White, and Kventy.
Hooray!
All right, let's get started, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Dr. White is putting Mortimer Sykes' eye in Samael's head for very good reasons.
Anywhere specifically in his mouth hole or like in the eye socket?
In his
eye socket.
In his
okay.
eye socket,
Okay,
yeah.
that's probably for the best.
You know, nice, easy operation that any doctor can do. White uses laser technology now, a rather Star Trek-looking device, to connect Samael's optic nerve to the optic nerve of Mortimer's eye. The optic nerve's connected to the optic nerve. That's not such a good song. As he does so, Samael grimaces and breathes, but tries not to scream out in agony. Kventy eventually cannot watch and turns his head to look out at the passing night sky. As the world speeds by, Kventy speaks. He remembers the past, and he is serious in his speech. I'm getting direction here. As he remembers the fear of the past, feels the fear. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna perform this. This is my audition piece.
Oh, fucking
See if I can get this part. You were always. I don't know. The fear's not coming across, is it? I'll give you a second chance, Mr. Casting Director. I'll be better this time.
Okay.
You were always the strong one, Samael. Huh, so strong. I was older, but you, Sammy. Fade 2. That's it. Oh no. Okay. No, we're gonna continue hearing his voice, but we're gonna see something different. Oh, it's a flashback. Brilliant. We're having a flashback.
Amazing.
Okay. Fade 2. Flashback. Interior. Shitty hovel. All right. Can you do a shitty hovel, please? Yeah. All right. Okay. Day. This speech covers the action of the flashback. When they came to our house that day, killed Peter, cut his throat, threatened Mater. It's difficult to do it seriously when you decide to use words like Peter and Mater.
You're just not a good enough actor to kind of handle the future cool speak that I've come up with. For the...
All right. You always were the strong one, Samael. Huh, so strong. I was older, but you, Sammy.
Pass me a smoky smoke.
When they came to our house that day, killed Peter, cut his throats, threatened Mater, I failed. Barely tried. They knew a coward. Cut me, but you, 13, and you scared the devil from them. Saved us. The dumb little pale kid. Never forget the look on your face. I guess I'm not instructing you to never forget the look on your own face. I'm saying I will never forget the look on your face. Even I saw the power. And I knew then you were so strong.
Wow.
13, but I saw what they saw, and I was scared too.
Wow.
Do I get the part?
It's pretty good.
That sounds like a no. Well, it's pretty good. We'll let you know. We'll tell your agent. We'll tell your agent no later. All right. So I guess while this speech is happening, this is the action. 2 dark men have broken down the door of this place and have the pale white woman up against the wall. They have knives and are cruel-faced, threatening, sexual. On the floor, a big black man lies slain, blood pumping from his throat, dead.
Shit.
In the corner, a younger, gangly 15-year-old Kafensi. Hang on, are Kafensi and Samael brothers then?
Yeah, I think this is an exciting twist that's happening here.
This is a reveal, is it? Okay. Why have they got such different accents then? They grew up together. Why do they speak so differently? That's weird, isn't it?
Because Samael's tried to better himself, so he's got this champagne accent now.
Oh, no, I'm posh now. I'm not going to use my real accent. I'm going to try and down. Oh, I come from Posh Town. Yeah, I go to the Gold Bar.
Yeah, the Gold
quite
Bar.
regularly. In the corner, a younger, gangly 15-year-old Kafensi cowers, a newly made scar on his right cheek running red with blood. The men tear at the woman's blouse. All seems lost, but Samael appears, just 13, wielding a tall bottle. He yells something and the men laugh, but Samael will not be laughed at. He smashes the bottle on the table, creating an ugly, dangerous weapon. Should have smashed it on one of their heads, but yeah, that's okay.
What did the table do? What did the table do?
The table's the only innocent one in this situation.
Got a lot of legs, though, hasn't it? He's probably after them.
It does seem like, obviously he's made a weapon, but he could have simultaneously made a weapon while also getting rid of one of those 2 blokes and then used the weapon on the other one, right?
We don't know
But
how
he's only
hard
13.
their heads are. They might have really soft heads. He's probably looking at
That's
their
good.
heads going, their heads are too soft. If I try and hit if I hit them with a bottle, the bottle won't break. It'll just bounce.
But that's fine too. Then he just hits them both and then they're unconscious, right? That's also fine. Then you can smash it on the table and stab them a bit while
If
they're
their heads
unconscious.
are made from throw pillows, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. If they're pillow-headed men, pillow-headed men.
Yeah, pillowhead men.
So he smashes the bottle on the table, creating an ugly, dangerous weapon. There is intent, power, anger behind his eyes. He walks without fear towards the 2 men, who are telling him to back off, but he will not listen. He continues to move forwards. One of them is uncertain, suggests they leave. The other laughs the kid off, but the first, scared by the child, buckles and legs it. The other yells after. The remaining guy turns and yells, attempting to be yells at Samael, attempting to be threatening, but it is a lost battle. Young Samael is the threatening one here. The guy is worried. Samael, undaunted, moves forward, and the guy runs away. Wow, he didn't do anything. He's so scary that all he needed to do was smash a bottle, and he intimidated these 2, presumably incredibly dangerous men out of his house.
Yeah, what's he doing?
I mean, fair enough. Listen to the performance. I'm going to get you in my bottle. I think you can hear his power in my performance.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe if we were casting this film more carefully, and if I'd known where this was going, maybe I'd have switched Kafensi and Samael's voices around.
Right, yeah.
No, Kafensi's like, no, you're really powerful. I am. I'm quite powerful. I've got big metal hands and I'm from space. Cut back to interior compartment night. Samael interrupts the story. It's working. Well, he can see. White sighs with relief. Oh, that's good then. Thank goodness for that. Kafensi says, good. It's miles from perfect, but I can see. Yeah. Thank Christy, I can see.
Yeah, but now he's got an evil eye, though, right? Because we know that's how that works. He's got 5 evil fingertips and 1 evil eye. Yeah.
And that's a powerful combination, right? Because if you've got an evil hand and an evil eye, they can work together.
Yes.
The eye can direct and the hand can do.
Yeah. The hand can poke out the non-evil eye, so you've only got 1 evil eye.
Also, chop his other hand off, And then he's all evil. White says, okay, let's get it in the head. So he can see, but his eye's still dangling out, I guess. Wow. White, oh God. White forces the eye into the eye socket. This is the most unpleasant bit, right? There's been some really but the getting the eye out and putting it back in, that's the worst bit. Samael blinks lots, rolls his eyes around.
His eyes?
Questionable. If Mortimer was here, I think he might disagree. I tell you what, although, like, obviously I'm very tempted to mock your medicine knowledge, your science here, but it's exactly like movies. Like, what, you may not understand science or medicine, but you 100% understand movies. This would happen. This happens all the time. Yeah. Oh, he cuts his eye out and puts another one in, and then it just kind of crams it in, and then he goes, oh yeah, I can see now, and starts using it. Like, basically the actor puts one different coloured contact lens in and then just starts moving his eyes around, going, oh yeah, that works quite well. Blinky blinky. I can picture that scene so well. Because it's definitely a movie thing, right?
Yeah, it's like movies are shorthand, though, aren't they? Nobody's got time for realism,
for actual science.
Yeah, let's get on with it. Yeah.
Or to put it another way, no movie writer's got time for researching things like that. They're like, well, I've seen it in movies, that's fine.
Yeah, well, if they've researched it, I researched it, it was impossible, so I was like, well, whatever
I guess
then.
I'll do this. Yeah. Fuck it. yeah.
Research is your enemy.
The finger and eye surgery that happened on a train were a success.
Hey!
Dr. White did it using his Star Trek laser technology eye surgery device and that circular saw that he got from his dad's carpentry cupboard.
Brilliant.
Okay, so let's see what's going to happen now. Probably his fingertips are going to fall off and his eye's going to fall out and he's going to die.
No.
But maybe not. Samael says, the peripherals like, demonstrating with his hand. I can't hear. I can see to hear.
Can't hear?
Yeah, but hear, like, demonstrative. I guess he means I can't see here. He can see less.
I felt like his ears had stopped working because he'd got someone else's eye. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I think you missed when you cut my eye out, and that got an ear as well.
Yeah. Dr. White forces an ear into his empty eye socket. There's something wrong here. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Not putting your finger on my eyes. Haven't you touched them enough? Basically, I think he's saying that he's not got as good peripheral vision as he did. But he can see, but not
Fair
brilliantly.
enough. I mean, pretty amazing he can see it all.
Yes, it really is. White says, that's good, better than I hoped. I was expecting you to be completely blind and dead.
Yeah, just as I just shot your eye on with a Star Trek laser gun.
Yeah. In fact, I still think you might be imagining things.
Yeah,
I think you're probably using your left eye and just imagining that you're using your right.
He's just tied it. He's just got that cerebral cortex, tied it together.
Yeah.
Shoved it back in. That'll probably do. We only need it to identify you. It doesn't have to be a working eye.
it doesn't need to work, right?
Mind you, if it stops rotting and going off, that wouldn't be too good, would it?
Yeah, and you've got to be able to move it, right? You can't just have it rolling back in your head and stuff. You've got to be able to operate, even if you can't see, you've got to be able to operate it.
Right, yeah, because that's what it does. It does everything, doesn't it? It makes it roll around.
I mean, I don't know how.
Not just,
I don't know how eyes work.
Yeah.
It's got to be muscles
So that
around
optical,
them, right?
what's it called? The optic nerve, or is it the cerebral cortex? Which one? What is it? Something or other. It's like
optic nerve.
The optic nerve is a joystick.
That's the thing that they cut. Yeah, I expect there's probably. I mean, we get listened to by a lot of weird people, and they also have some weird areas of expertise. And I bet at least one of them is an eye surgeon.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe they know an eye surgeon, or they studied eye surgery and then decided to become a Doctor Who fan instead. Right. You know what they're like. So someone can definitely write in and tell us what the truth about replacing one eye with a completely different eye is, or would be, theoretically.
No. I did do research, and it was definitely completely impossible.
Yeah, but there may be if you're writing sci-fi, there may be a theoretical future version of that. If you were going to do it, if we had the ability, what would be necessary?
Because I remember that this optic nerve had a million different
oh really
things,
connections.
Connections. So it would be pretty hard to.
I got 3 of them. That's pretty good. Come on. Yeah. White hands him a mirror and he looks at his reflection. It's a different colour. Mm-hmm. White has in his hand a contact lens container which he unscrews. Inside is a green-coloured contact to match Mortimer's eye. White places it on Samael's left eye. The train hoots. Kafensi says, "We're nearly at the city. I have to bail." I guess he's going to jump. Kafensi goes to the door, opens it, turns. "Good luck, kid." Samael nods, and with that, Kafensi is gone. Just jumps off a train, everything's fine. White says, "Get the clothes on." "Put your clothes on, I'm sick of looking at your penis." White tidies as Samael dresses. Exterior train, coal truck, night. Kafensi jumps from the train. Okay, so he didn't just jump out of the... I thought he immediately jumped out, but he left and then jumped from somewhere else. Exterior train track, night. Kafensi lands and rolls. He stands, dusts himself off, and watches the train disappearing into the night towards the lights of the city, because he is a man in an action movie and therefore can do things like this without being injured. Just like bit of dust. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but then he realises he's left his keys on the train. He's like, oh, freaking hell.
Yeah, and his eye and his fingertips and his leg. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, shit. Cut 2. Interior compartment, night. Samael is dressed in Mortimer's suit. It is a decent fit. He has parted his hair, though not the spitting image, he does look respectable. In fact, given Dr. White's colour, Samael looks more of a silver than he does.
Because he's a white.
Right, so hang on, a silver is a posh person, right?
Yeah.
Because this society is organised by Olympic medals. And that's true, right? And Samael is a bronze medal, which in this society is a loser rather than third place. Pretty good.
I'm going to go on a limb here, a potentially racist limb, and say that I think most winners of gold and silver medals probably are people of colour and not white people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so probably Dr. White looks way more like a silver than Samael does.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, just because of the number of people in the world, there's not actually, it may seem like it because of the way our media represents it, but there's not actually that many white people in the world. So, you know, if you have an international Olympics, yeah, of course white people aren't overly represented. All right, so what you're saying is that Dr. White is a silver. He's societorially silver, probably wearing his medal to show that.
Yeah.
He's got a medal around his neck, right?
That'd be amazing, yeah.
And Samael isn't. He's a bronze, but he's taken his medal off. But because most silvers are white people, looking at these two, you're like, wow, now Samael actually looks more like a silver, even though he's lying because of racism.
Yes.
Because of racist expectations. Yes. Yeah, okay. The train begins to pull into a train station at St. Pancras. A train station at St. Pancras. That's weird. So in this world, St. Pancras is more of an area with a lot of train stations in it. Pulls into St. Pancras 3, you know. Where did they just come from? So they're going to London from where?
Elmet, as far as I can remember.
Samael looks out the window at the Victorian architecture. White gives Samael some supplies. Here's more painkillers, contacts. Try to sound more champagne. Try to sound more champagne. What do you mean? I'm doing a really posh accent. Try to sound a bit more champagne. If you're in trouble, try not to contact me. Fare thee well, Mortimer Sykes.
Well, that's it. I don't know where I'm
That is
going.
it, that's all you get.
Nobody told me anything.
Yeah, you know, you get painkillers, contact lenses, and one piece of advice: try not to sound so poor.
Yeah. And don't call me.
And yeah, if you're in trouble, don't call me. Bye. And White is gone too. Samael stares at his reflection in the window. He mentally prepares himself, composes himself, picks up Mortimer's case, and exits. Cut 2. Exterior, platform, St. Pancras night. Samael steps alongside other passengers from the train and carries his case towards the security gates. Oh, this is the big test, right?
Yeah.
See if it works.
La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da.
My name's Mortimer Sykes. I like silver things.
Yeah.
Look at my silver medal that I always wear and have not just stolen from a dead man. Isn't it nice? Oh, look at my normal right eye. That is all that is completely mine. Lucky I haven't got any like knitting stitches on my fingertips. That'd be a dead giveaway, wouldn't it? Should have
Yeah.
used that fucking Star Trek device on my fingers as well.
He's still got like a ball of wool, like attached to one of his fingers.
Yeah, and a
slowly
knitting needle
unravelling.
sticking out of
Yeah,
it. Yeah, definitely. The immediately noticeable thing about these silvers and golds, there are golds there, is the similarity of their dress. There seems to be no colour here. The men in black suit and tie, the women in black, white, or black and white dresses. To just, but I'll tell you what, it's not just segregation by race. Then it's gender segregation as well. The women all have skirts on, like it's school uniform. They're all wearing high socks and short skirts.
Yeah.
No, well, just below the knee. And of course, they are, for the most part, white. Samael has just entered a 50s film noir.
Oh.
I hope it goes into black and white at this point then.
Lovely. Yeah. Humphrey Bogart's there talking about hills of beans for some reason. What kind of beans are we talking about? And presumably Waitrose.
Yeah, because I mean, a hill of Waitrose beans is pretty good.
That's
But if
silver.
you're saying a hill of Aldi beans, I'm probably not bothered by that. Just leave it. It's not a big problem.
I don't want any bronze beans because I'm definitely silver, and that's why I eat Waitrose beans.
Samael has passed the test of is he middle class by seeming to care about beans.
Yeah, he's got a kind of Waitrose beans. He balances it on his shoulder, and he's like walking along, kind of like gesturing at it with his head and pointing, so everyone knows that he's posh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It seems like it's not going to work, but then it totally does because actually all middle class people are kind of like that. It's like if he was trying to be gold and do that, then you'd know, be like, because they're a bit more like they just. They've grown up so privileged that they don't have anything left to prove. But all these middle class people are walking around with beans on their shoulders. So when you first see it, you're like, oh no, he's going to get caught. And then but it pans out and everyone's
got beans. Yeah.
No, I think you've got M&S beans on your shoulder. They're very good, very well done. I've got Waitrose beans of a similar quality, I think you'll find.
This would be amazing. A society that wears beans on their shoulders.
So the gates are guarded by armed guards and biometric checks take place. The guards wear clothes not dissimilar to police with the flat cap of a police sergeant. So they're dressed like guards. The guards wear uniforms, basically. Like police have uniforms. It's not that dissimilar.
But not police
Yeah, I know.
uniforms, more like something a guard
but
might
guard, yeah, absolutely. I can imagine that. Thanks for describing it so well. Samael reaches the security. The guy in front passes with ease. It is Samael's turn.
Uh-oh.
He places his hand on the scanner, moves his ball of wool out the way.
Shifts his bean tin a little to the left.
He places his hand on the scanner and looks into an iris recognition unit. The iris scanner seems to take forever, yes, because I've seen this scene in a movie before as well, that it takes longer for him because we want to be tense. Not because there's any logical reason for it, but because we want a bit of tension, right?
Yeah.
A beefy guard eyes Samael with suspicion. I like the way in this script all the guards have an adjective.
They do. They always do, don't they? Wasn't there a beefy guard in
Collider, maybe, yeah. Collider, yeah. But we've had like shifty guard, bulky guard, and now we've got beefy guard. I love that.
Beefy guard.
So he looks into the iris scanner. Scanner seems to take forever. Because it's a scanner, it's probably showing him what's outside the TARDIS. Right.
Yep.
So he's confused. Why am I looking at a picture of Dalek planet? And why are those vines wrapping themselves around the TARDIS? That's just something that happens on primitive planets, okay? Plants wrap themselves around your spaceship. A beefy guard eyes Samael with suspicion, and then a green light gives him the go-ahead. He smiles at the guard, and he is through.
Hooray! It worked. And nobody questioned the knitting needle sticking out of his hand.
Or the wool he's trailing behind him.
that leads to a dead man.
So he's dragging Mortimer Sykes behind him. Accidentally got caught up in the wool. I thought you fell off the train. Yeah, okay, so this next line's a bit confusing to me because it says, on the other side of security with a bag man, but then in brackets it says badge mun. BAJMUN.
Is it capitalised?
Badge is, but mun isn't. But that's the stress. Bagman is capitalised, but then in brackets
I think the bag man is called Badgeman.
Okay, so it says a bag man though.
Yeah. A bagman called Badgeman.
All right, so on the other side of security with a bagman, brackets badgeman. Holding, not confusing at all, absolutely fine. Holding a sign,
Steve Badgeman,
which reads Steve Badgeman, yeah, who is a bagman. Holding a sign which reads Sykes. Oh no, hang on. Okay, I'm doing this wrong. It's an exciting moment. It's an exciting moment. On the other side of security with a bagman, brackets badgeman, holding a sign which reads Sykes is Bridget Astor.
Oh my God.
Blue-skinned hot woman, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's with a badgeman a bagman called Badgeman.
Yeah.
Looking as stunning as the moment he first saw her. Her beautiful red hair, the only colour in this black and white world.
What about her blue skin?
Brilliant.
And her blue skin, the only other colour in this black and white world.
Brilliant. And I hope you, Schindler's listed it, and everyone else is actually in black and white, and just her with blue skin and red hair.
Which you want to be careful with phrases like, I hope you Schindler listed it, though, because that's...
Yeah, sorry, I do. I take that back. Yeah, I don't. Well, no, yeah, that's saving people from Nazis. I'm saying I hope you're saving people from Nazis. I think that's a good thing to hope. Sorry that you find that offensive, Howard. I'm sorry that you're on the side of the Nazis.
Well, it's the 21st... Is it the 21st century?
It is the 21st,
it's the 21st century
yeah.
now. Got to
Nazis
be more,
are good again,
receptive to things. You can't just go around bad-mouthing Nazis. They haven't done anything bad for a while, have they? They haven't invaded anywhere in ages.
Yeah, they have.
Probably...
they have, and they do, and they're awful, and they did something bad yesterday. And today, be Nazis. That's a bad thing they do all the time. Anyway, she looks as stunning as the moment he first saw her. Oh, yeah, I've already said that. So only colour in this black and white world. So everyone's wearing black and white. Their skin is black and white because there are no brown
zebras,
people in this
they're
world.
all zebras, yeah.
And their hair is black or white. Yeah. Samael balks when he sees her. Ugh. Will she recognise him from before? Did she see him when he was hiding?
She saw some people through a window, didn't she? But
she got a glance, right? Yeah. No, I mean, he's done his hair different. He's wearing different clothes. She's not going to recognise him. You're fine, Samael. He heads over to her. She looks at him with no trace of recognition. Yeah.
Mortimer, question. Yeah. Is she going to be kooky? That's what I want to know. Is she going to be a manic pixie dream girl?
I think she's more of the serious one kind of character. So I'm going to give her that kind of serious, like straight-laced, like kind of some, like an American female politician wearing power suits, and someone who's going to be like very different to Samael. Samael, a bit stupid. She's got to be serious. So her voice is, "Ooh, Mr. Sykes." Badgeman the bagman takes his suitcase. But he didn't even say yes.
Oh, I love that. Thank you very much.
Mine. Thank you very much. She holds out her right hand to shake. He instinctively goes to shake it, then stops and instead proffers his left hand. That wouldn't seem weird. So is that because it's got a knitting needle sticking out of his right hand? Because it can't be that it looks bad, because he just did the thing, right? Surely it doesn't.
He's probably worried they're just going to fall off.
But that's weird. She held out her right. If that happened to you, she held out her right hand.
Yeah.
He went forward with his right hand, and then suddenly at the last minute said, no, left hand. And so now she's got to retract her right hand and put out her left hand. That seems like a really stupid power move. If someone did that to me, I'd be like, no, fuck you. I'm not shaking. I don't like shaking hands anyway. So take your stupid, weird hand-shaking ritual, your stupid power play handshaking ritual, and go away.
Well, I mean, maybe he's just going to shake her right hand with his left hand.
Oh, well, maybe... No, you might be right. Because it says he instinctively goes to shake it, then stops and instead proffers his left hand instead, and they shake these as best they can. No, you're right. He didn't make a shake left hand. But that's weird, but it doesn't seem like such a kind of weird power move. It just seems weird.
It seems like... I don't know. It seems worse. It seems like some kind of like sexual thing.
I don't know. It seems suspicious. It seems like someone's just had their fingertips cut off and now they've had them sewn back on and they're worried you're going to notice. She looks at him oddly, and he stares back nervously. Bridget says, "Okay."
Yeah.
She pivots and strides off. Samael and Badgeman the Bagman pursue.
I'm just trying to think of a thing you do with your eye now. Like, she she winks with her right eye. He goes to wink, but then he's like, oh, no, a second. He winks with his left eye instead.
She takes her right eye out and shows him. He goes to do the same, but then like, oh no, I better do my left eye. All right, cut to interior tube train, night. Samael is staring at Bridget, so he's doing well. He's really, like, making sure that no one is suspicious of him by just sitting there, staring, probably dribbling. Bridget says, "What?" Samael says, "Nothing. I just thought that I recognised you. You'd remember." Mm-hmm. Of course, yes. You're very careful, distinctive.
Oh, right, yeah.
Distinctive. That's a new one, and that's code for stunningly beautiful or repulsively red. Okay, I can't do her with this voice. She's going to have to be Scottish. Distinctive, because that's how. I know how to do Annalisa, and this is just Annalisa. Distinctive, that's a new one. And that's called for stunningly beautiful or repulsively red. You see how it works better? Like the line fits that voice,
amazing.
Right? All right, I'm going back to the start of this scene, not the whole thing. But Bridget says, "What? Nothing. I just thought that I recognised you." You'd remember.
But what this means, though, is like the thing is, what this actually means is that like I only write two characters. I dress them up. I try and dress them up as different things.
And then I break it down
yeah.
by doing the same two voices every
and it's
time.
Like, oh yeah, they only work when you do these voices. Yeah.
Yeah. So. You, nothing. I just thought that I recognised you. You'd remember. Of course, yeah. You're very careful. Distinctive. Distinctive. That's a new one, and that's called for stunningly beautiful or repulsively red. Oh, the former, naturally. The former, naturally. Where did you learn to speak? The funeral parlour.
What?
Where did you learn to speak? The funeral parlour. Did you learn to speak from undertakers because they're famously bad at it?
Yeah.
Those embalmers, they just can't put sentences together, can they? What's wrong with the former naturally? I mean, it's a bit awkward, but is she saying like undertakers or possibly dead people are awkward? Maybe, I don't know. Cut to interior Canary Wharf tube station platform night. The whiz sound as a futuristic tube train pulls in. Brilliant. The tube doors and protective doors slide open and Samael, Bridget and Badgeman the Bagman get off. I'm having difficulty to remember that. Because it also says Bagman every time. I'm trying to remember how I'm supposed to say it. Cut to interior Canary Wharf tube station escalator night. They ride the escalator majestically to the top, right? Which I hope means they're like holding out their arms and they've like got long scarves flowing behind them and a big dress.
Probably like wearing crowns and holding jewels.
Oh yeah,
if
definitely.
They're doing it majestically. Yeah.
Cut to interior Canary Wharf tube station night. Biometric print readers instead of ticket barriers greet them. They pass without incident. Cut to exterior Canary Wharf tube station night and out into the beautiful dark blue night sky. Samael is in awe of all he sees. You've not been to Londinium before, Mr. Sykes. I call it Londinium because I'm quirky. No, Miss Astor, I haven't had the pleasure. Cut to exterior apartments Lower Aberdeen Wharf night. Samael looks up at his new home. Badgeman the Bagman opens the door and they enter. Interior apartment reception night. The reception is gleaming clean white. A receptionist greets them. Okay, now this says doorman, but Dorman, and that doesn't appear to be a spelling mistake because he's got lines and they're listed under doorman. He is Dorman the doorman, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've got Badgeman the bagman and Dorman the doorman. That's what's going on here. That's the world you've created.
Yeah.
So a receptionist greets them. Dorman, an effusive elderly gent, says, "Evening, madam, sirs." Dorman, this is Mr. Sykes, our new occupant for Crib 42.
Ooh.
Ah, yes, pleased to meet you, sir. The computer has been pre-programmed, so everything should be in order. But if there are any problems, simply pick up the phone
and I'll be on the other end, sitting on it so I can feel it when it rings. Cut to interior Mortimer's apartment, lounge, night. The door opens. Unfortunately, Mortimer is not single and his wife is there. Yeah. And immediately says, no, that is just a stranger. You're bringing a stranger. No, the door opens. Samael stands silhouetted. Bridget appears behind him. Lights on. Question. Computer. Lights on, Miss Astor.
Wow, that computer knows her.
It does.
This is my husband, Computer the computer.
It does. And it also is as a lot of completely pointless, redundant speech. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like I'd know if the lights were on or not without a fucking robot telling me.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like turn the fridge off or something, I wanted to go, I have turned the fridge off, like, because you don't know.
Yeah.
So, no, the computer says lights on, Miss Astor, and then the house computer switches the lights on. So what it's doing is not just redundant, it's taking too long to do it by telling you it's going to do it first. I will now switch the lights on for you in just a few seconds after I finish saying this. But But it also says the computer has a chirpy female voice.
Oh.
So it's not, I will put the lights on. It's, I will put the lights on.
It's a dialect, yeah. I think you said exterminate you. Do you wish me to continue?
No, don't exterminate me.
You have selected yes. Exterminate.
So do I do any chirpy female voices except the one I'm already doing for Bridget Astor? Do I have any? I mean, I could recast. Ooh, that's pretty chirpy, right? Lights on, Miss Astor. That's the computer. The house computer switches the lights on. The computer has a chirpy female voice. Ooh, lights on, Miss Astor. The flat is plush and big. Whites and creams, glass and silver. A cream leather sofa and armchairs. An old-style black dial phone. Ooh. Fruit and champagne awaits the new arrival. The fruit sits in an elegant bowl with a silver fruit knife with an ivory carved handle. The champagne is in a nice... Why are you describing the fruit? The important thing in this room is the fruit. Let's make sure we get that right, everybody. So the champagne's in a nice bucket. They enter. Then the computer says, "Oh, welcome, Mr. Sykes. Welcome, Miss Astor. Salute, Monsieur Badgeman." You can stop the house from talking if you like. They annoy the John out of me. They annoy the John out of me. You know that famous phrase, oh, I'm so annoyed, my John's out. My John's out. Yeah. Oh, God, I haven't got any John left, I'm so annoyed. Someone else says, no, it's fine. Badgeman the bagman dumps the bag in the master bedroom, but it doesn't say what he does with the badge. And then he has a line. So now he needs a fucking...
Well, he's French, isn't he? Because it said salut. He said
okay.
Salut, Monsieur Badgeman, didn't it?
So Badgeman the bagman says, "May I be of any further assistance? For example, now I've brought your bags in. Would you like me to take your legs?"
Yes.
I can. You probably want to take your... Now you're at home, you probably want to take your legs off. I could put them in the leg stand for you if you... I won't steal them. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll put them in the leg stand.
Most people tend to tip me. They tip me 2 legs.
Yeah, they tip me at least one leg, usually 2. Bridget shakes her head. And Badgeman the bagman says, "Thank you, Miss Sir." Badgeman exits. The computer says, "Au revoir, Monsieur Badgeman the bagman." Bridget takes the champagne bottle from the ice bucket as Samael stares around in wonderment.
Wow.
Champagne for breakfast? Would you like champagne for your breakfast? No, she says champagne. It really fucking is. Pop. He turns to find open champagne bottle in her hand. Oh, I see. Oh, he thought she was saying, like, because they use champagne as an adjective, don't they? It's like, be more champagne. It's really champagne here.
Yeah.
So he thought she was going, isn't it champagne here? Yeah, it's really champagne apartment.
These beans are really champagne.
Yeah, that's what gives him away. He's got a tin of champagne beans, and that's not a thing. Look, beans in champagne. That's no one has beans in champagne. It's always tomato sauce. No. What he mistook what she meant. She said champagne. Then he heard the pop. He turned around, saw the champagne bottle, and went, "Oh, I see." She looks at him oddly. It's compliments of biotech. He takes the bottle, takes a long draught. She raises an eyebrow. And then she says, "Did you just say fucking?" He sprays champagne everywhere.
Brilliant.
Because every now and again you forget you're not writing a comedy movie. You forget you're not writing an old-fashioned like carry-on comedy movie from the 70s. And like, I can see Jim Dale doing this. He sprays champagne everywhere, and then Samael covering. It's not very good. His flame is like, "This is rubbish champagne."
Oh, he's saying the champagne's no good.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's saying the reason he just spat champagne everywhere in this apartment that's been presumably like sorted out for him by the company that he's just arrived in, drinks the champagne, spits it on the floor, and it's rubbish champagne. But Bridget smiles for the first time. Now she's really beautiful.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. The script's saying you'd be a lot prettier if you smiled. Fucking hell. Bridget says, "Sykes, I don't know what they told you about us up in Scotia, but we're not solid silver. We like to think of ourselves more as mercury. You know?" What do you think about that? Do you think that made sense? Does that seem like a thing a human would say?
I like to think of myself as mercury as well, yeah.
I like to think of myself as Jupiter. I'm joining in. Does that work? So Samael says, "Really? So?" He tugs his tie loose. "Anywhere I can get a whiskey and a smoke. It's been a long day." Bridget says, "Ha! I really had you pegged as an oik." "And I had you down as recently deceased."
Yeah.
Pretty good sexy conversation, isn't it? Pretty good at flirting, aren't I? Yeah, I thought you were dead.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat down to every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. You are great. Bye-bye, milk.
Yeah, go sign up for the Mountain Bike House Secret Gang. Bye-bye, mail.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.